From calling Will Smith sickening during the Oscars,
Just sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless.
to mocking Hollywood's elite like this.
Is that a gang sign?
Here are all the moments when Jim Carrey truly pissed off woke Hollywood. So at this point, everyone knows that Hollywood doesn't do well with religion. And if someone tries talking about God, they make sure to kick that person in the nuts so hard they realize that Hollywood is not the place to be religious. Jim Carrey knew it all along, and for some time he danced to Hollywood's music. But then he finally told Hollywood they can shove their policies up where the sun doesn't shine. Jim decided to destroy Hollywood and began saying the most shocking things.
Being here is an indication that you've made that decision already. You've made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness to grace, just as Christ did.
Hollywood wanted to present Jim Carrey as the poster boy of their woke propaganda. In fact, Disney reportedly wanted to do one of their movies with Jim while turning him into a woke icon. Well, that would have been a disaster, as we can see with all the recent woke Disney movies. The Marvels ring a bell to anyone? But Jim's statement on religion were a direct dig at these corporations, and he made sure to make them eat their words.
There was a decision we made. And the decision was to look upon the people who were causing that suffering, or the situation that was causing that suffering, with compassion and with forgiveness. And that's what opens the gates of heaven for all of us.
At this point, Hollywood knew for sure that the guy talking about heaven and forgiveness sure wasn't gonna push their woke agenda, so they tried to discredit him. Hollywood got to a point where they were ready to declare Jim as crazy just because they knew he wouldn't play ball anymore. And, well, Jim decided to play right back. He knew he couldn't fight it, so he said, bring it on.
Say, Jim Carrey, yes.
What?
I've covered a lot of fashion weeks. This is the first time I've run into Jim Carrey.
But even while Jim was pretending to be insane, he constantly kept destroying woke reporters. In this clip, the reporter tries to ask him about what he's doing and if he has a date. And that's when Jim's eyes lit up because he knew that this was the perfect chance to give woke Hollywood something to cry about.
You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
Oh boy, did Jim Carrey actually call the party meaningless on a live interview? That had to hurt. And he didn't stop there because what he says next destroys woke Hollywood in the worst possible way.
I'd admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist.
During this particular show, Hollywood was trying to award their woke icons. You know, the Usher and Dave Bautistas of the world. The ones that jump, or in their case, perform when the powerful say to do so. Well, Jim Carrey can't bear it anymore. He's too tired for this, and he makes sure to tell Hollywood that he doesn't care about these awards, and he sure as hell isn't going to sell his soul for them. But even after the humiliation, the reporter doesn't back off. She keeps pushing back, making it look like Jim Carrey is crazy for even thinking that icons are meaningless. And that's when she asks a question that she's gonna regret asking.
Believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
The reporter wants Jim to say no, just so she could label him as weird and crazy. But her woke tactics aren't gonna work on Jim because he's only there to piss her and her masters off. And this is when he really starts to lay it on thick.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut her down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond it.
And this is when the reporter created the world's thinnest argument. She thought it was a good idea to talk to Jim about his outfit while he was in the middle of destroying her.
Really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No,
The reporter keeps trying to put words into Jim's mouth, but he knows better than that. He has faced his fair share of wokies, so he knows how to deal with people who just don't get off your ass and leave you alone. Watch how he leaves her speechless.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
There's just things happening. and there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
Next, she tries to get Jim to push her agenda by talking about the horrible things happening in the world, but just look at the guy. He's tired, and he just wants to go home. Let him be. But no, the reporter keeps pushing.
Yeah.
So what's happening in our world right now? Because there is a lot of news that actually is relevant that's not that
Here's the
uplifting.
thing.
At this point, Jim has had enough, and he decided to annihilate this woke reporter once and for all. He answers in the most bizarre way possible, making it so hard for her to ask any additional questions.
It's not our world.
None
That's
of
the
this is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
There's the good news.
Okay.
And after this interview, all the woke reporters were afraid of talking to Carrey because they didn't want to be embarrassed on live TV. Hollywood also knew that if they poke him too much, Jim might actually have a breakdown and expose them. But too bad, because that eventually happened anyway. Jim not only destroyed woke Hollywood, but also made sure to drop names. And, well, this did not end well for one particular company which has established a monopoly in Hollywood.
Thank you for coming. What is that exactly?
I can't believe he's actually mocking the powers that be. Every big star, including Beyonce, at some point in their career have displayed this triangular symbol in their concerts. So it's obvious that it's a sign of paying respect to the Hollywood higher-ups and showing them your loyalty. However, in Jim Carrey's case, he added his tongue to the hand symbol, making sure to tell the higher-ups that he doesn't give a rat's behind what they're trying to do to him.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't.
Kimmel is trying to pretend like he's not one of the flag bearers of woke culture in Hollywood. Let's be real, he has given platforms to so many woke actors and lunatics. And Jim Carrey knows pretty well that he only called him on the show to make fun of him and discredit him. And that's why what Jim says next instantly worries him.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right?
And yes, that's what we're talking about, the name dropping. Carrey destroyed Kimmel by not only naming him, but also naming other comics like Jimmy Fallon who have been in Hollywood for years now. And by this point, we all know that these guys are pushing an agenda and making right-wing people look bad. But this isn't where Jim Carrey stopped, because up next, he said
Jimmy,
something so shocking
seriously,
that
the time is
everyone
up.
gasped.
People are
Just
hip to
watch
this kind of
clip.
stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and
Can you believe it? Jim Carrey saying that it's the Illuminati symbol? Well, of course he's laughing and all, just trying to make it seem like he's joking. But do you really think Jim is joking here? He's telling us the truth, trying to warn everyone of these woke hosts and celebrities. He's constantly destroying and exposing Hollywood, which doesn't sit well with these elites, and this is why they're trying to make him look like the guy's mad and he's talking crazy.
and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh.
And while everyone thinks Jim Carrey is continuing this joke about Hollywood and the Illuminati, I think he's actually spitting facts. He's not pushing anything under the rug and is making sure Kimmel doesn't even get a chance to recover.
Mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track.
You guys still haven't forgotten about the entire Diddy scandal, right? And the 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Well, rumors were that Diddy was hosting parties that would have all kinds of crazy shit happening and would go on for days. Crazy shit like demonic rituals that required everyone to get undressed and form circles. It sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory, but wait until you hear what Jim Carrey has to say about these erotic get-togethers.
Laugh and stuff like that make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, when they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things, and you know, and you know, look at him trying to come it up.
It's obvious that higher-ups try to control Hollywood celebs with power and fear, and they make sure to get secret tapes of them doing different things just so they can blackmail them. The FBI reportedly found thousands of tapes and cameras all over Diddy's place. So Diddy was obviously working for someone. Here's Jim Carrey's way of showing that Hollywood elites use fear to shut artists up.
Hilarious. And you know, and I'm sick of, hold on a second. You know what they're trying to do?
Who?
This thing is buzzing. Hold on. They're trying to turn us into, consumer drones of some sort. Hold on, I just got to get this.
And yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm in the middle of blowing the lid off some.
What happened?
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
After this show, Jim Carrey was everywhere. With one interview, the dude basically broke the internet, and this is when Hollywood really started worrying about him. But Jim didn't back off. He knew that if he stopped speaking his truth, Hollywood would push their woke agenda on him and others even more. And this is why he also decided to speak during the entire Will Smith and Chris Rock controversy.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
Carrey believed that just because someone is black, it doesn't give them a right to play the victim. They can't use the race card every single time, especially when the real victim himself is the same race. Will Smith is a Hollywood A-lister, and when he slapped Chris Rock, everyone praised him until the backlash on the internet got worse. Jim revealed that he was against this violent behavior from the get-go, and when Will Smith was temporarily banned from the Oscars, everyone said that Hollywood was blackballing him or the industry was racist for doing this to him. But Jim believes that Will should have come forward to say this has nothing to do with race.
I felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
Will Smith is obviously one of the most powerful people in the industry, so standing up against him wouldn't have been easy for Carrey. This was probably the point when Hollywood realized that Jim could be major trouble for them if they don't take him seriously.
Asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous.
And what Jim says next would have probably given Will Smith nightmares.
The right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
I'm pretty sure that at this point, woke Hollywood knows that Jim Carrey won't back off, and this is why they've left him alone. They weren't letting Jim work on projects that he wanted for the longest time, but when they realized that the guy was on a do-or-die streak, they said, screw it. Jim wanted to work on a documentary, but Universal Studios didn't allow him to do it. They were trying to toss Jim Carrey aside because they knew he could cause major trouble for them. And finally, Jim revealed this in an interview. The host asked him a question which was just what Jim needed to destroy Universal Studios.
Jim, so you had this footage for 20 years or so, and you said in the movie that Universal didn't want this out there.
At this question, Jim Carrey starts exposing one of the biggest studios of Hollywood, which has gone completely woke now. He talks about how they didn't allow him to work on the project to protect him, but they finally gave him a green light.
Originally, when the footage was shot, I wanted to, release it before the film came out and say, hey, look what went on here. And they said, no, we want to protect our asset. I'm the asset. And so they decided not to let me do that at the time, but they were very cool.
Universal Studios obviously didn't allow Jim to work on the project out of the goodness of their heart. They were probably pissed off from his interviews and didn't want him to say anything against their monopoly anymore. So Jim Carrey basically won this fight by playing dumb and just spitting woke Hollywood's propaganda wherever he went. Do you think Hollywood is still trying to control Jim Carrey to push their woke agenda, or have they backed off now?